A vermin lord is both wickedly magnificent and repulsive. It is a living symbol of decay and death. This entity is towering in height, but it is lithe and swift, its movements suggesting the fluid yet twitchy scuttling of rats. Despite its massive height, it moves at blinding speeds, and they are at the top of the Skaven hierarchy. When manifested into the world, their physical aspect is terrifying. The vermin lords tend to be equipped with enormous glaives that have devilish appearance and are fully twice the height of a man. Despite this, their chisel-like teeth and razor claws are more than capable of ripping a creature to shreds. Shards of raw warpstone seem to have been hammered into their skin. Tomes are also used to embellish the leprous body of the vermin lords. Their skulls are adorned with the large and twisted horns and flaking flesh of the horned rat himself, giving them a macabre appearance that frightens all but the most valiant of mortal individuals. They are frequently portrayed as enormous rat-like creatures with an intimidating appearance. The vermin lords do not manifest often in this world, for the fortune of many, but when they do, it is mostly because they have a macabre plan to put into action. These beings are always calculating a complex web of intertwining plans, looking for the most efficient way to reach the goal they have set for themselves, and to further the plans and reach of the Skaven race. When it is time for work, the Vermin Lord demonstrates all of the wild brutality that the Skaven are capable of. Few mortals are able to withstand its rage, which is a dreadful sight to behold. Their slender bodies are packed with enough power and strength to take on even greater demons, whereas weaker species are easily swept aside. When the situation calls for it, a vermin lord is capable of conjuring a mighty and evil glaive, which it then swings in lethal and unstoppable arcs that leave headless bodies and torn flesh in its wake. These creatures are, without a doubt, the most powerful and terrifying beings that lurk in the vastness of the Under-Empire and are amongst the most powerful entities in the Warhammer world. Before we begin exploring more about the Vermin Lords, we'd like to thank today's video sponsor, Bloodline, Heroes of Lefas. It has one of the most unique gacha gameplay out there, packed with amazing visuals. Download and try the game for free using our link or scan the QR code and receive an amazing starter pack. The best time to start playing is now, because it is the Bloodline anniversary event from June the 1st to June the 28th. They are offering a ton of goodies as part of its 1-year anniversary celebration. Log in every day to claim free summons, gems, and an abundance of resources. Every fortnight, gather new bloodlines with special skills. Customize them by fusing any two bloodlines to produce over 1,000 hybrids and countless possible combinations. Just released are the Titan Warriors. They can be your team's strongest guardians, since they are Olympus enforcers of the Iron Will. Additionally, there are the Nine-Tailed Vulpins, who come from an eastern land of mysterious power. With visually stunning 3D graphics and sleek hybrid designs, no two champions will ever be the same as they combine traits and appearances. Earn Bloodcraft Legends by earning points and seasonal guild wars with the rewarding late-game PvP, in which all players can obtain uniquely designed hybrid champions. Download the game now for free on both Android and iOS using our link or scan the QR code on the screen to get a special starter pack, and for the first 30 players to leave their in-game account ID and username in the first pinned comment section below will receive a free legendary female Nine-Tailed Champion, one of the best mages to carry you in the game. Let's talk about the origins and nature of these otherworldly beings. There is a great deal of uncertainty and dread around the very existence of the Verminlords. It is said that the chaotic forces of the warp give birth to these creatures, and the collective consciousness and beliefs of the Skaven race are responsible for their creation. Thus, they can be classified as demons, entities of the warp, and many dare to say that the Verminlords are amongst the most numerous and varied of entities within the warp itself, although there's no real way to actually prove this. As with many other beings that draw their power from the warp, there is a common belief that the strength and might of a Verminlord is proportional to the total number of Skaven that worship the Horned Rat, with the Verminlord's power increasing as the population of Skaven does. But these creatures are not merely the figment of the Skaven's imagination. It is believed that these demonic entities are the physical incarnation of the Skaven deity known as the Horned Rat. The Verminlords are the embodiment of everything that the Skaven want to be. Powerful, cunning, and most importantly, merciless. The Horned Rat, known for its treacherous nature, inspires these traits among his followers, and the Verminlords personify this to the highest degree. But who is the Horned Rat, one might ask? Let's talk about it briefly. The Horned Rat is worshipped as a single deity by the Skaven. It is seen as the personification of deterioration, entropy, and the imminent destruction of civilization. This deity of chaos, which not one of the four main chaos gods, but a minor god, patiently awaits the day of the Great Ascendancy, when the Skaven will overrun the world, bringing destruction from within, emerging from the bowels of the earth to bring ruin to everything that lives in the surface. The Verminlords, as direct manifestations of this Horned Rat god, carry an intense aura of their apocalyptic destiny and are the ones that guide the Skaven race towards this objective. It is important to note that the Verminlords are not only necessarily the physical manifestations of their god's devious schemes, but also, in some cases, ascended lords of decay, twisted by otherworldly powers to grow enormous horns, claws, and of course, intelligence and power beyond what any mortal rat man could ever achieve by themselves. Verminlords take pleasure in the treachery and power struggles that ensue as a result of their superior wickedness and cunning compared to those of any mortal Skaven. The natural world around them is warped by their very existence. The grass will turn black beneath their hooves, and their dreadful glare is enough to make even the most powerful lords of decay shiver in fear. The Skaven veneration for their god, the Horned Rat, is motivated mainly by fear and terror, and the Skaven's never-ending prayers and sacrifices are directed towards satiating their god's ravenous appetite, because they are the most powerful ambassadors of the Horned Rat. Verminlords are also the most definitive representations of the Skaven's religious zeal, and the personification of the terror that is instilled by their deity. Nevertheless, the extent of their power is limited. The Verminlords are permanently connected to the warp, and their bodies are merely a passing phase for them. If their physical form is destroyed, they are sent back into the warp, and can only be brought back if sufficient amounts of warp energy have been collected. This endless cycle of destruction and rebirth is a testament to the ever-present threat posed by the Verminlords to the world, and the unending influence of the Horned Rat. The only thing that comes close to matching the terrible presence of the Verminlords on the battlefield is their menacing influence behind the scenes. They frequently take on the role of puppet masters, using their influence over the Skaven clans and the leadership of those clans to carry out the Horned Rat's desires. When it comes to Skaven politics, The Verminlords are always at the center of it all, creating chaos and strife through activities such as initiating clan warfare and staging epic betrayals. These creatures depict the intricate combination of religious dread, political maneuvering, and end-of-the-world prophecy that is inherent to the Skaven race. Because they are the physical manifestations of the will of the Horned Rat, they are a demonstration of the disorderly and destructive nature of the Skaven's deity, as well as a continual reminder of the impending danger that the Skaven present to the world. There are 5 different kinds of Verminlords, which are referred to as Warbringers, Warpseers, Deceivers, Corruptors, and Exalted Verminlords, respectively. Each of these classifications exemplifies a unique characteristic of Skaven culture, as well as the Horned Rat itself. The unrelentingly violent disposition of the Skaven is embodied by the Warbringers. They are the commanders in charge of the front line, and they lead their troops into combat with calculated planning and ferocious brutality. They carry doomglaives, which are huge blades with curved tips that are capable of slicing through even the most resilient armor. The Skaven are elevated to another level of ferocity when near this terrible type of Verminlord. The Skaven are known for their treachery and their propensity for backstabbing, and the Deceivers are a prime example of this trait. Deceivers are experts in the art of manipulation and deception, and they employ these skills to sow division and confusion within the ranks of their foes. They are armed with Doomstars, which are weapons that can be thrown to deliver deadly explosions when they hit their intended victim. They move with incredible swiftness and are extremely hard to detect in time due to their masterful use of stealth. More often than not, the victims of these types of Verminlords are already bleeding out before they have any time to react or even realize what has happened. The capacity of the Horned Rat to control the winds of magic is represented by the powerful Warpseers. They are revered as the Skaven spiritual leaders and have a close relationship with the Warp. Scry orbs are magical artifacts that are used by these mysterious creatures. These orbs give Warpseers the ability to glimpse into the future and control the chaotic forces of the Warp, and they are able to manifest devastating powers into the battlefield, manipulate minds, or even confuse their opponents. The degeneration that is linked with the Skaven is given life in the form of Corruptors. They infect their foes with contamination and sickness, making them easier targets for the Skaven hordes when they arrive to finish them off. Plague Reapers and other deadly weapons are instruments of illness and decay that the Corruptors use to infect their foes with terrible maladies with each hit they land. Last but not least, the Exalted Verminlords are the manifestation of the Horned Rat's might that is in the most unadulterated form it can take. They are the oldest and most powerful of their kind, and they are the mightiest variety of the Verminlords. They are armed with powerful warpstone relics such as the Scourge and the Gnaw Bomb, ancient weapons imbued with potent warpstone energies that have spelled doom for thousands of victims through the ages. There are many cases where it is believed that verminlords have appeared before citizens of the Empire, ranging from individuals from noble houses to regular rank-and-file soldiers, captains, wizards, and even priests of Sigmar. Unfortunately, they often end up dead or go crazy after an encounter with a being of this nature. Today, we will examine the last writings of Maximilian von Wuderch, whose journal was discovered in his mansion. I will read to you what the text said. The last pages go like this. Recently come into my possession is a scroll purported to summon and command an exalted master of the Endless Host. I purchased the document from my contact in the Tourmaline Fellowship, who claimed to have acquired it from some distro recently returned from Tilia, who claimed to have retrieved it himself from a ruined city swallowed by an enormous swamp. Old Hildegard tried to impress me with some gibberish about rats that walk like men. But I am no mere dabbler in the forbidden to be taken in by such mythical nonsense. No, perhaps this creature is some kind of demon, fancifully named by some errant scholar. Yet according to the accompanying notes, the creature is live and possessed of horrifying vigor. This sounds unlike any demon I have yet encountered. It is an intriguing, but easily solved mystery, yes. It will take perhaps a day to set wards which will contain any demon born of the powers of chaos. And then we shall see exactly what this creature may be and what secrets I can wrest from it. These are the final pages of Maximilian von Wuderch's journal, discovered in his blood-soaked mansion by witch hunters of the Order of Sigmar's Wrath.
On this channel, we are putting together narrative Total War cinematic battles and Warhammer lore videos. A special thank you goes to our Patreon supporters who help us in the making of more content. You can also join Patreon and earn extra perks while supporting the videos to come. Find the link in the description below. Make sure to subscribe, and thank you for watching. See you on the next one.